Here we are, punters, back for part 2. So we had I was on the phone to our old mate Juppy this morning.
Yes.
He's going to have a look at Bendigo for me tomorrow, at the track this afternoon. And he had a question for you, DK.
Did he?
He did. Because I'm not sure quite what his angle is. He was being a bit cagey. So, because for him, these once upon a time in his previous life, he would have been perhaps fielding at these meetings as picnic cards. And he was asking you what your perspective was with meetings like Gumbow and Menangatang becoming TB meetings and fully professional.
Yeah.
What your thoughts were, and has it had any impact on the way you treat those? Are you more involved with those meetings now that they're tab on?
Absolutely, but I think yes, he might be a bit cagey there, Juppy. I think he knows the right answer to that, because about 2 or 3 years ago, whenever Gifted Music was going around, I went down to Geelong to watch Gifted Music run, and Juppy was down there doing his best, and I was either paying out or something at the end of the day. I think I lost. And Juppy says, Menangatang tomorrow, DK. You got one there? And I said, matter of fact, I have, Juppy. There's a moral there. He said, what? I said, yeah. And guess what horse it was? It was a horse called Free Willy.
Nathan Hobson. The Swan Hill champion.
The Swan Hill champ. Yeah. So he'd come down from middle New South Wales or something like that, country New South Wales. Hobson heading for one run or something, and said he brought him down to Kyneton or brought him down south somewhere for a run. It was a pretty good run. And then he turned up from Menangatang. So I said, Juppy, and so and it won by 6 lengths. Oh. God bless it. So which one of them would turn up this Saturday? So so those are if those sort of things can turn up those sort of horses. So I like doing it. On the weekend, there was Murtal got called off, so I got left with Gumbow. I had one winner and one strip out, but they're good. They're good for me. I like betting out wide and do a bit of rubbish there, but occasionally you can get one like Free Willy or something turn up, mate.
It is interesting, Dick. I mean, I didn't have a chance to look at Gumbow at all. Didn't even think about it. But last spring, Penny the Cell turned up this time of year. It might have even been this meeting tomorrow. I think it was. First up at Bendigo, probably a benchmark 70, could have been a 64. And I'd backed the horse of Elton Zara's, whose name escapes me right now, for a really good result. And there
she was.
There's Penny the Cell at 1,300 metres, travelling on pace, just travelled sweetly throughout, knocking me over, winning by a neck at 100 to 1. Indian.
Well, she's one.
And I'm like, goodness me. Anyway, so last week, whenever the previous
Bendigo
Saturday meeting was at Moonee Valley.
Moonee Valley, yeah.
I see Penny the Cell in a Saturday race at 1,200. I thought, well, she's sort of got no hope, but I remember what she did at Bendigo. If she was happened to do that, it's not out of the question. Yeah. She was like 200 to 1 or something. So I've had a peanut on her at 200 to 1, and she's tailed off throughout. I just, couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that'll
That's okay.
Whatever. No real harm done, but it was a bit, I was certainly, any of my suspicions were well wide of the mark. So I didn't even know she was in the Gumbow, but that's what the Moonee Valley run was. It was the tune-up.
Tune-up for the Gumbow Cup. That was just target, which was, that meeting seemed to be targeted by the Bendigo trainers, as those Kerangs and those this time of year, those meetings up there can be. And the 2-track, it's a 2-track up there.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are they?
3 up to a 2, so that's all right. Fast track racing. We can have 2 tracks in these. That's the other good thing. Don't worry about it. It was a 2-track, and S. Payne going for 4 winners. Samuel Payne.
Good lad.
So all these things can happen out wide, mate. It's all right.
Yeah, it's good.
So yeah, she won. She's a bonny mare, that mare. What a great mare she's those connections and trainers. So yes, mates, I know Sanarnad I think's coming up. So we've got Menangatang this week, Hamilton, Murtal's back on. I think Sanarnad one of the next weeks. There'll be somewhere else. So I like having a little pickle around at those joints, mate.
Yeah,
we can find something.
Obviously it's spring. There's just so much great racing on. You've got to pick your mark this time of year.
And what I learned when at the corporates and the bookies, all they want is product. They just want product. Yeah. The more product, the better. Yeah. So that's why these meetings are just throwing the meetings. I just want as much product as I can get. That's product. So,
talking about opportunities that you don't take advantage of that you would like to. I went and had a quick look at the track at Moonee Valley on Thursday afternoon for the Friday
night meeting. Yeah.
So, geez, good set of circumstances for the on-pacers here. They're definitely going to have the advantage. And in the end, 7 of the 8 races were won either lead or outside lead.
7 of 8?
7 of 8. I bet one race, and I backed the two horses I thought would be basically leading outside the lead, and it was the Kavanagh's come from back and wide and rounded me up.
Oh, didn't it go on Vegas Jewel?
Sure did.
I know she won well at Chuka with Christine swinging off her cover, but gee whiz, she's went with the other night.
And I quite like the aristocratic miss later in the car, but I thought I don't think she can hold the front. Then she's there, she's leading. I'm just watching the race going, this race is over.
Just saying, there's some little, I know, that's the I like at this time of year, but little things making their late run for Oaks. Things like Vegas Jewel, they said they're going for the Oaks, and a thing won yesterday called Walking and Flying of Paces at Vanilla, and it was a mile maiden. She only has to keep hitting the line like she has done. She might get 4th or 5th up to into an Oaks, and they're just trying to make the field, but you never know. They're just rapid improvers this time of year.
Yeah, I've got one.
That's a rapid improver, that Vegas Jewel.
Absolutely. I don't know if this one quite fits the same mould, but it's also you and I have both been interested in, and it's got a lot of talent. I'm just not sure at what distance range. I think it's probably a miler, but I heard Rick McIntosh pumping it up after it won at Bendigo. I can't remember. Australia's.
Oh, well, I got him written down here, Potts, because I know. Yes. So anyway,
he's got something to offer. I mean, he's a chance of getting into it.
He does a lot wrong, but geez, he's got raw talent.
Raw talent, yeah. He's in at Bendigo against tomorrow.
So he was in. So he ran that race at Cranbourne, the good race by Lifeline or whatever.
Yeah. And his was the run of the race in the Lifeline race.
Yeah. So he's run the race. So then again, wait for him. Turns up with Mildura, draws 11 against a pack of walkers. So I'm not going to lie. Try not to lay it on, but I said I'll lay it on this. And he scratched it. Right. And then he ran it from barrier 9 at Chuka with Harry on it instead. I'm thinking, barrier 9 at a Chuka down that chute, he might get into trouble here. And that's what happened.
Didn't he what? He restrained it.
He restrained, but he said he was told to.
Yeah.
And you see it ended up in the shit house the other day again. I didn't want to rev it up the other day, but geez, he's got some attributes.
And this is one of those situations I was talking about before, DK. It's up to the trainers to find the right natural tempo for their horse to maximise its ability. They're trying to teach that horse at that stage, so I can understand and accept that. I'm not too. Just because the horse wants to go faster doesn't mean you should let it.
Yeah.
But
especially on these lightly raced ones, it's only at the start 3 or something.
And then I can see what they're trying to do, and then it settled a bit better. We had a win last start. Benalla produced a pretty good rating on it.
Because the other thing went really well, the leader with Brad on it.
So it'll be very interesting to see how it goes at Bendigo tomorrow, because it's running into Royalty, who's a nice horse.
It's in tomorrow, is it? Yeah. Royalty's a nice one. He had all favours the other day, but he's on the right pace. He'll be third up.
Yeah.
He did set in the 1-1 and have a nice bunny in front of him the other day, but Australia's, it just depends how he maps and that. But,
so staying at 1400. So
while we're on these sort of things, I thought there's been a few. Well, speaking of that, not alone, it was a Brent Stanley horse who ran second to Australia. So there was a maiden at Swan Hill. When was that? Last Tuesday or something?
Yeah.
And did you see that? The one that had run really fast time with the massive margins?
I called a mate of ours, Trevor Lawson, to check the time, because I thought, is that right?
Yeah.
You can get a fairly reasonable handle off Gimme Strength.
Gimme Strength, that's right, absolutely. And they went 0.4 quicker than them, I think, or something like that, which is...
So on face value, the two horses that have made their debut in race 4 at Swan Hill last Tuesday are city class horses. It's hard to draw. Sometimes it can be a bit tricky.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that, on face value, yes. A couple of things I go to. I remember at Swan Hill Carnival, I remember the maiden on the Friday or something, nearly around the same time as the Topaz.
Yeah.
It was the first starter of Mick Price was 50 to 1, remember? So the time, the 1200, there might be a quirky, something quirky about that. 2, the SPs from 2 betting stables, Henry Dwyer and Brent Stanley. Yeah. The winner was $7.50. The second horse was $14. Yes. It's a city class. Now I can't see what Brent Stanley, not alone, who ran Australia's to whatever it did the other day. On its debut, it was 6 to. It was back 6 to 4. It's got good talent. Brent Stanley first starter back.
Didn't the horse that ran 4th in that race go around $1.90? I don't know.
Which race?
In the race that we're talking about.
Swan Hill?
Yeah, Swan Hill race. Something went up.
Well, there's Sacred Goddess. There's a couple
Sacred Goddess. It was because I didn't know the race. I was looking at the SPs and it's...
No, they had forms. And last Sure, whatever, was coming out of the Broadway and 4th and the Sansay, the Geelong race. So they put a hole in them.
Yeah.
I know it's SPs with first starters, you sort of say, okay, they're not as important, but I'm just wondering why those stables, those horses have gone enormous.
It is a very curious situation.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I can't. And it was one of those Vovis bonus races, so they, the trainers do target them with the right horses. Yeah. So anyway, those horses, Night Express, and who was the horse that ran second?
It's a Kind of Magic or something. It's a Kind of Magic.
Let's keep an eye on them punters. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know, but I imagine there'll be certain operators that'll be have them black belts.
Debt and Deficit came from out the back and won a Geelong maiden. I thought it went really well. And I like Mitch Hughes. We like Mitch Freedman. I like Broadway and Fourth Swing there the other day at Bendigo, Ballarat. Back and wide. Probably wasn't even told to do it, just rounded them up. And good on him, Mitchy. So he's got Moonlight Maid as his Oaks horse, and he's got Southern Moon, who's $1.10 in the first at for Thrill Seekers in the first at Donald today, at 2,000 metre main. With Billy Egan swinging, Billy Egan barrier 2. So even if he gets into trouble in a bit of traffic, he still should be able to get his way out of trouble. But it was good to see Mitch having a bit of success, mate. So there are a few to follow, I thought.
Yeah, he went well Broadway and Fourth. I sort of fan. I marked him $5 there last week when he was $6.50, I think, in the morning, and he started shorter than.
He was heavily back late, so I tuned in and had a bit more on it late. Only because that's what I like.
There was another horse out of the same race that I backed. I backed two of them in the same. Who was the other?
Sensation.
One? Yeah.
He ran second or third.
Yeah. Anyway, it's certainly.
And just can I just say why didn't Moonlight Maid? I know it was back to last and everything, but I remember in the Bendigo race against Miami Bound, it was very well fancied as a very 11-4, 3-1 second pick.
It was hard to market, and then late it was really soft, very late, which sort of explained how it ran.
He said it was ring rusty and all that. But I'm just saying of SP, so they were evens and maybe 460 at Bendigo.
Yeah.
Then what's Miami Bound on the weekend? 280 or what? 350? What was it?
It was better than $3 late because they really backed the Chris Waller horse. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Yeah. So then it's heavy. It's short odds again. It's 40-1. So I can see why there's a few danos.
It was a big, dense field, DK, and the big teams basically said there's only two, Miami Bound and the Chris Waller. And it was just write your own ticket. The rest.
So that's what can happen.
And she drew the extreme outside. She was going to be last. Big field. They really had to overdo it for her to. They had to be stopping for her, and that's what happened. And she got out wide enough, So.
But I thought it was interesting. And Dan O'Sullivan wrote another article there on Racing.com about SP profile and about including it in your form analysis. And I just went at one, and I said, "Geez, that was big odds. Because it was 60s on the fair or something for a horse who was 3-1 to beat Miami Bound last start, not having done the form of the race and like you points and everything." But I just thought for SP profile people, it's
I can't remember what price I marked it, DK, but I feel like it might have been 25-1.
Yeah.
But as they're going into the barriers, I'm just thinking the way the pattern is, it's more 50-1 probably, or 100-1 to the right price. You know what I mean? You're out of play, you're just going to run on into a midfield position or something.
The bookies was the bookies' hope.
Yeah.
Because this was a very strong betting race.
Now on the SP profile stuff, everyone probably knows, but it's worth saying that Mark Lambourne, who has stood the test of time, he's been the one constant in format analysts for 20, 30 years or however long it's been, and there's nothing more important to mark than the SP profile of horses, particularly from their clashes, not just what price they've started, but what they've started in relation to other horses that they're meeting again.
And I think as the market's sharper and sharper, as a Dr. Nicks of the world and everything's the Jelcos and so many good analysts, all doing the form on yourself included, all doing the form on these races, all that intelligence feeding in. I think it's in 2019 it's as accurate as it's ever been, and getting more accurate, So I definitely use it for sure.
Good stuff. Well, that's a good way for us to lead into our next subject, DK. I thought we'd just have a bit of a discussion about edges and Indians.
Edges and Indians?
Edges and Indians.
That's a bit
broad.
Well, Indians, we know what Indians are. Indians are the outliers. Penny to sell.
It's one of your terms.
Broadway, mate.
So what will happen, punters? I'll be saying to DK. So I'll create a situation here, and I'll say I found one on Sunday that I really liked. Chiloro off a good run at Bendigo. I thought it had come across from a wide gate, sit one by one, peel out, and so everything I expected in the race happened. It's beat the rest of them really easy, but I got rolled by
an Indian.
So Princess Fragrant, who'd had all of her runs on wet tracks, finally found a good track, blinkers on, travelled like a different horse, and turned us over. So just for the punters, DK, how would you define an Indian?
Oh, an Indian's an outlier an outlier that's improved for some reason at big odds to blouse you. Yeah. Just said, what's happened there? Like, Moonlight Maid was a bit of an Indian. Here comes.
What makes her an Indian? Okay,
and then they come down the outside.
Is that there was a pattern that everyone had seen, and jockeys were preferring to be on pace inside. Okay, and it was the last of the day, so there was always a chance of the overcompensation, and that's what made. So that's what happened. Yeah. I haven't broken the race down yet, but I'm just assuming that they've all fallen over, and she's just gone past tied horses.
But they're always I think it comes from the Indians. Charging down a hill, blah blah blah. They're always run-ons. Yeah. They say you never beat by an Indian. I'm not beaten by an Indian up the front. If something hangs on to beat me, it's not an Indian. An Indian's something that blouses you. Gets over the top or comes from nowhere, or So
you've got a real genuine one when you look at it and you go, how? How did that happen?
That's why I'm still scratching my head about race to a gun bearer. So that was how did that happen? But anyway,
I think for punters, it's worth. Most races you do, at some point when you finish the race and everything else, thinking, is there an Indian?
Yeah.
Is there an Indian here? Is there one I could identify that I might be able to get something out of it in really big odds? I mean, I try and do that. I forget sometimes, because you just
trying to get through the race. There's a lot of races to do.
But it's there's value in the Indians if you can identify them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. They're out of the market, especially with a positive. If it has got the jock bum, we spoke about one a while ago with B Preble going on. The Ron Stubbs horse, he said, was a bit of an Indian that day, the players, with that Preble going on. Yeah. When he can lift them, and blinkers going on, and blinkers again. Things like that. Gear changes, jockey changes, got all. If you can pick it up, but sometimes it's one because of a jockey change. That bloke's got it to go, or the blinkers have made it go.
Yeah.
But
there we go. So just about edges. In this day and age of where we're seeing an explosion in tipping services and whatever else, and a lot of noise on Twitter and various social media platforms, and some of these operators, the more unscrupulous ones, will try and claim anything they can claim. So we've seen examples of horses say goes over the line, comes up on the screen 100 to 1, and the tipster will go, home you go, I marked at 50s.
That's right. An overlay.
Yeah, overlay. The reality is you've marked a 2% chance of winning, and the market said 1%. Yeah. So your edge over the market there was 1%. That's in the margin for error. That's not an overlay. That doesn't count. I would think, in my mind, I try and avoid races where I don't think I can build an edge, whether it's using just one horse or a group of horses, of 5%. I'm talking some margin, not 5% as a multiplication factor. I'm saying as a 5% sum. So just to pick an example, if I mark a horse $3, 33% chance of winning, and it's $3.50, that's 28.5. That's almost 5, 4.5, whatever it is. That's an edge that I'll bet. If I genuinely believe that my price is right, so I've marked it $3. Market says $3.50. I'm having something on that horse, and I try and scale it using a form of Kelly method to scale.
But if it's $3.20 or $3.10, you're holding off, or you're not.
Well, obviously the bet will be smaller, right? Oh. But so what I do in those situations is I try and look at if I back A and B, or A being C, or whatever. So to me that means I've got a 60% chance of backing the winner, and collectively if I back all these horses to collect the same amount, I'm effectively taking evens, right? So my sum edge in that situation will be 10%. So that's basically the method I'm using. But see, then I play with it within that. You know what I mean? So if there's one horse in there that I've marked top pick and it's got a bigger edge, but there's another runner in the race that I've marked $3 and it is $3, I'll just chop out on that one and put the result of the other. Yeah. So I mean, I work, and I think the more of my market that I actually back, I'm reducing the margin for error. So that's just my. So I'm just saying, be careful of operators that are claiming things when they haven't really identified any particular edge, particularly that out of the market thing. I mean, horses often win 50s, not market 20s. I haven't anything on them. You know, just so what? I mean, I probably could have marked 50s.
But a lot of that happens.
You know what I mean?
Can happen in the last those sort of horses, as we saw with that race on the last race on Saturday.
Yeah.
The market can throw out everything except 2 horses.
Yeah.
And they can go from the 20s and 19s to 40s in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, just over time, you're probably not going to.
Well, I didn't like the Waller horse, so I was already pretty heavily committed to Miami down. I started looking at some others. The Moonlight Maid's one I would never could have considered, but Fascino was one I did back. So anyway.
Nice horse.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so there we go. Indians and edges punters. That's something for us.
Just all right. That's about it, mate. Thanks for those. Plenty of people got in touch and they really enjoyed the episodes with Reece and with Mick McGuan. Mick McGuan was fantastic with his amazing getting in that football brand.
And for those that don't live in Melbourne, don't know, Mick's one of his gigs is he's the coach of the Keilor Football Club, and he goes with a youth policy, Mick, and he had a lot of injuries at the start of the year, and somehow he managed to get that team through the season undefeated to win the flag.
Yeah,
against several other teams. They had a really strong competition.
Against Aberfelder, who were going for 3 in a row, and they were a massive, one of the best metropolitan teams in Melbourne. They're a massive club.
They've got several ex-North Melbourne players, haven't they?
Essendon, Cole Reamers, and a few others. So they're a big club and powerful club. We play in that comp, and they're far and away the 2 best sides in the comp. And as Mick said, he played 34 players and 38 players, and it was great to see him win. They were great scenes. You see the video with him after the mixed minute after the game. That was bloody fantastic.
I started reading through all the well wishes for Mick, and I ran out of steam at about 1,000. Good on you, Mick. The bloke is just an absolute champion, and is there a better football brain anywhere?
We were lucky to sit next to him, and everyone said they loved it. So really good.
Good stuff. Cheers, punters.
All right.